I'm not even going to explain it. Just a lot.
Tibbs talked about, I'm sorry, Ian. Tibbs talked about the transition defense and lack of communication. That's something that comes up, it feels like, every other game, every 2 games. Why do you think that fluctuates so much amongst this group?
I'm not sure why. It's just paying attention to details when it comes to preparing for games, making sure our minds are, our heads are right, and we're locked in on a similar goal. And that's what we need in order to beat a team like this. It's a very good team, regardless of who's out there.
You guys are tied up at halftime. How did you think the team came out to start in the second half?
Not that good, obviously. 32-17 in the third, and they came out with a sense of urgency that we need.
Jalen, more about the third quarter. I mean, have you ever gotten 5 fouls in a quarter like that? And
5 fouls in 1 quarter?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I mean, just how crazy was the quarter? I mean, I guess.
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jalen, that third, you guys obviously got off to a slow start there. The starters in the series, I know coming into tonight, the starters were minus 22 in the series. Why do you think it is that the starters have kind of struggled, not just necessarily in this series, but maybe comparatively to where you were at the start of the year in maybe the last month or 2 months or so?
As a group, you say we're minus 22?
Coming into tonight, you were minus 22 in this series.
In this series?
Yeah.
Well, first, let's talk about who we're playing. We're talking about the Celtics, defending champs, a team with a lot of experience, a team that just obviously we've seen what they've been able to do over the past couple of years, obviously winning last year and what they've been able to do before that. So we're playing a really good team. And so obviously we don't want to be minus 22 coming into tonight, but we got to understand who we're facing, and we need to be better, flat out. That's what that means.
Jalen, we've talked about this on a few different occasions, but Cat only having 2 3-point attempts in this series, and some of it, I'd say a large part of it, is how they're guarding him. Are there ways to, as a collective, figure out ways to get that going? Is there ways that you guys have encouraged him to be more assertive in that way? How do you guys unlock that a little bit more consistently as a group?
I think as a group we need to obviously trust each other. I need to trust everyone out there, knowing when to attack and when to set the table. I think the biggest part of that is obviously knowing how they're defending and how can we attack that. And so if they're going to put a smaller guy on them, we need to feed him in the post. They haven't put a bigger guy on him. And so we need to attack accordingly. And him being aggressive gives us a great advantage.
Jalen, I'm curious, you were really candid with us after Game 3 saying that maybe it was kind of a subconscious thing about a satisfaction level. Is there any of that at all that happens or can happen just in light of Tatum's injury? And just the Celtics are a great group, no questions asked, but as far as are they a little bit lesser of a group perception-wise? Does that factor in at all? Is that something that the team thinks or feels at any point?
No, not at all. Yes, they're missing a big piece, but like I said before, I mean, they're a team, a well-oiled machine that has been in situations where they've played without him, and they've played well, and we need to understand that, and we need to, trust the game plan and play accordingly. It's that simple.
Thank you.
So Jalen Brunson there, when asked about the 5 fouls in the third quarter, because he had 0 at half, but got 5 in the third. Politely declined to answer. Smart. Didn't want to get fined. But, I mean, that is a unique situation, obviously.
It's a unique situation. However, as 3D and I pointed out, right, what they were doing was targeting him on every offensive play. So consequently, the officials, right, they're seeing Brunson in every offensive play not being targeted, but, you know, the guy who has the ball,
Right.
you know, you're the official, you're watching him with the ball. And it just so happened that Brunson's guarding him all the time. So I thought, you know, Celtics and Missoula went in terms of, hey, we got to take some people off the floor. All guy Tatum is, you know, he's off the floor. So in order for this game to be kind of fair, right, we got to get Brunson off the floor. We can't allow Brunson to play 40, 42 minutes tonight. We got to limit the amount of time he's going to be on the floor and how productive he's going to be on the floor. It's like 3D when we played, you knew you weren't going to beat Larry Bird, McHale, and Parrish if all of them got to play 40 minutes. You got to get one of them in foul trouble to get them off the floor, right? Let me play against Greg Kite a little bit, right? I don't want to play against the Chief all the time, right? You want to play against those backups. What Missoula and the Celtics did tonight was Brunson is the guy. We gotta get him off the floor somehow. How do you move people off the floor? You get them in foul trouble. They get them first 2, 3 fouls, and the coach got to make a decision now. Okay, you're going to leave them in? And 3D, if you leave them in...
We're going to now keep coming at you.
Now we know we got to duck now. I mean, because you don't want to pick up that 4th foul, and I know you don't. So consequently, I got an easy bucket. I got an easy score because you can't pick up that 4th foul. And I think that's what the Celtics strategically did tonight.
The only thing I can add that to Zeke, Matty Gukas used to say, keep the main guy in the action.
Yeah.
And Brunson is in so much action. There's a bump, there's a foul, there's a scratch every single play. So when you go back and look at it, the referee said, well, we let that one go. Well, we let that. That's a foul. Well, we let that one go. We let that one go. We let that. That's a foul. So when you look up, like, well, damn, he did get 5 fouls in the second half very quickly. Not because the refs were looking at it, the ref is looking at all this action Zeke's talking about. So they can't call every single foul, but they cannot call the ones that are so egregious, and that's how he got in foul trouble. He lived in the action all game.
I'm going to ask you about your assessment of Karl Anthony Towns. Tom Thibodeau was asked a couple questions about how he hasn't really gotten going, especially he's only hit 2 3-pointers in this entire series, but even taking advantage of some of the matchup, the switches.
Foul trouble. Zeke, I'm going to come to you on this one because you've been on all, like you said, you covered every title. As a coach, what do you say to Cat to say, come on, bro, you've been in foul trouble every game this series. You can't get in a nice rhythm. What do you say to a guy like that?
You got to figure out, you know, without making him overly aggressive. Because I think what happens is when you talk to Towns about scoring and about rebounding, we can see that his aggressiveness is through the roof. His intensity is through the roof. I mean, he's running people over. He's knocking them down. He's flailing, and you know he's definitely throwing his weight around. Now, how do you score and how do you be more effective? This is when you got to get a little crafty. This is when you got to be a little like 3D. You know, you got to lay in the cut a little bit. They drawing Brunson. Okay, now down my 3. So you don't want to be the loud killer. You want to be the assassin. And that's what Towns has to be in this series. Brunson is the loud killer.
Yeah.
Towns got to be the assassin. Oh, you left me out? Whap. Right? Oh, you didn't block me out? Tap in. Oh, I got a small guy on me? When he has a small guy on him posting up, he lets the whole arena know, hey, I got a little one. Throw it to me, throw it to me. When you got a little one and you got a duck, right? Shh, quiet. Don't tell nobody.
Right.
I got it.
Got it.
Now I
Finish
got a
it.
bucket.
Right.
But he lets everybody know. So Luke Cornett is like, oh, my man needs some help.
Right.
I'm going to go help him. So Towns don't know how to be quiet on the court. He does everything loud.
Right. You know, going into next game, because you guys both talked about this before, that first quarter is going to be critical, right? Especially with the Garden's going to be crazy, the pressure on both sides. What does New York have to do better from the start to maybe get that lead or, you know, really stomp on them?
Well, it sounds simple.